Welcome to the channel. My name is Tyler, and this is Tyler Reads Books, where we talk about the different books and the different book journeys that we are on. Today, I'm super excited to share that this weekend I went to my library for a huge used book sale. They have a couple of these every year, and so I got my daughters up. We went early, got in line, waited out, and man, I got some great books. I ended up getting 16 books for $8, and a bunch of these books are ones that I have been eyeing for a long time. So I'm really excited to share with you because a lot of these books that I have in front of me are going to be on my TBR in the coming months for this year and even some into next year too. And so I've kind of broken them into categories. The first one is kind of a mashup, mix-up of books here. But the first two books I found were Hyperion and The Fall of Hyperion, both by Dan Simmons. I have heard an amazing reviews about this, great things about these books, and I am excited to hopefully get to read these at some point. I've heard these are great classic sci-fi and excited to give them a go. Also, this Fall of Hyperion looks brand new, and I paid 50 cents for it. So really excited about that. Next book I got, this was actually the first book I picked up. I saw it and I was like, yep, need that for this coming holiday season, and it is Children of Dune. I have not read the third one yet. I've read the first two, so I'm excited to read this before the movie comes out. And it's so funny to me that this is one of the old library versions that they were selling, but got it. Can't wait to read that. We'll definitely be reading that before the movie. Cannot wait to talk more about that. This one's fun because my 5-year-old was looking at a stack of books and she said, "Dad, I think you should get this book." And I saw it and I was like, you know what? I think you're right. I think I should get it. And so this is a classic that I've never read. It is Moby Dick by Herman Melville. And haven't gotten into tons of classics, but when your 5-year-old hands you a book that's 50 cents and she's like, "Dad, I think you need this book," you pick it up, you grab it. And so got that. Excited to add that to the list at some point. And this next one's probably the most obscure from what I normally read, but my 7-year-old right now is obsessed with presidents, is obsessed with the Revolutionary War and the Civil War. And so as we're walking around looking at these stacks of books, I found this book, which is a fiction story called Redcoat. And it follows the perspective of a young man that is serving as a redcoat during the Revolutionary War. And so I thought this would be really fun to read, to just kind of talk to her about it, just the perspectives of that. And I was always interested in the American Revolution. And so just thought it would be fun to grab and pick up. The next section of books is kind of completing some things for me that I have already gotten, but then also a series that I am excited to start. But this first set is some of the Star Wars Timothy Zahn books. So I've read Heir to the Empire and I have Dark Force Rising, but I didn't have The Last Command. So I was excited to see this, and mine is actually the same print version as these. So that was cool to be able to find that one of it. And then I got Vision of the Future, which I believe is just another follow-up to the Heir to the Empire trilogy. And so again, some of these look brand new. Like that looks like nobody read that. So I was just like, yep, get it, put it in the pile, let's do it. And then I knew that Timothy Zahn wrote this one too, all from the perspective of Mara Jade, which I think is awesome. She's a really interesting character, and so I'm excited to do that. Basically, I was just like, any Legends book that's by Timothy Zahn, I just picked it up because I was like his writing, interested in that, really like the Legends stuff right now. In my mind, it's canon. And that leads to this stack, which I am super excited to have found some of these because our library doesn't have any of them. They don't have digital copies of them. And so I've been looking on eBay for some, and lots of people are actually trying to buy these books. But I got 4 books from the Star Wars X-Wing series by Michael A. Stackpole. And so I got book 1, Rogue Squadron. I got book 2, which is Wedge's Gambit. Book 3, which is The Krytos Trap. And then I got book 9, Starfighters of Adumar. But this is a series that I've always thought is super interesting, following this group of X-Wing pilots. And so I've heard great things, and I was just like, found them. I had my daughters. That's why I was like, look for any Star Wars books with an X on it, and that's what we're going to pick up. And so I got those. And then this last grouping of books, these books are very intimidating to me. My father-in-law started getting me a couple of them, and I want to read this series maybe in starting it in the later part of this year, or maybe jumping into it in 2027 and just going all in. But I was able to add 4 of the Wheel of Time books to my collection that I have so far. I think I'm missing 6 of them, but the ones I found today, I got New Spring, which is the prequel novel, and so I need to look up like if I should read this first. I think it was written later, but like should I just start with this or should I add it in, almost like a Star Wars type watch order, add it in later. But I got New Spring, which is the prequel. I got The Path of Daggers, which is book 8 in the series, and really clean, nice copies of these books. I was really surprised. I got Shadow Rising, which is book 4, and then I got The Fires of Heaven, which is book 5. And so I think I have the prequel all the way up through book 6, and then I think I jump up to 8, and then I think I might have book 11. So I'm missing just a few more. But that is a series that I do want to read. I'm super intimidated by The Wheel of Time, tackling all of those books. But I have heard only amazing things by everyone who has read through the series and completed it. And so at some point I want to read those. But I was so thrilled. I told my wife when I came home, like it felt like Christmas Day, like walking through these stacks and finding all these books that I've been wanting to read, wanting to pick up, and being able to get them for only 50 cents. So if you have a library in your local area, you should look up when book sales are, look up when those are happening, because we have hit gold the last 2 book sales we've gone to, whether it was the kids' books that we picked up or this sale that we did of like 16 books for $8. That is an amazing deal. I'm curious from you if you've picked up any new books in the last week. What are you excited to have found, whether a used bookstore or a sale, or maybe even online or Barnes & Noble? What are you adding to the collection right now? What are you excited to read? Let me know down in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you like the content that I'm putting up, I'd love for you to subscribe, to join our community, like the video. That would mean so much to me. But I hope you have a great week of hunting for books, and look forward to keep talking about more books.